Archaeology professor Hopper finds a minivan of lost people near a cave in Texas. The man examines the finds and together with his dog goes to the cave. Inside, he sees the figure of a cowboy with a pistol, but he does not respond to the professor's voice. After that, Hopper goes home. On the way, he calls his student Jackie and reports that he has found the missing person's car. He asks her to pack his hiking backpack without telling her boyfriend Taylor. But when he arrives at the house, he sees Taylor on his porch. The guy does not want the professor to go into the cave alone. Nevertheless, Hopper stands firm and forbids to follow him. The dog senses something and remains at the entrance. Hopper goes deeper inside, passing through a vicious, jelly-like transparent wall. 2 days pass. Taylor asks Jackie to start searching for the professor because he stopped answering calls. Something obviously happened there, but the girl can only go if she takes her younger sister Vives. Taylor tells the girl that Hopper was looking for a missing family who went in search of the mythical Fountain of Youth. Vives remembers that they must also take her friend Furby. Then the company goes to the caves. The first thing they do is inspect the minivan that Hopper found. They find out that the lost ones were Professor's parents. Furby stumbles over a stretched rope that leads to the entrance to the cave. Taylor discovers that the rope has been cut, and besides, it's too old to belong to the professor. The company shouts, hoping to get a response, but inside there is silence. They prepare to descend, leaving Furby on the surface. All of them have an idea about rock climbing, so they are sure that there will be no difficulties. But soon they notice that the air seems to thicken and change its composition. Meanwhile, Hopper goes deeper into the cave and sees how the figure of a cowboy suddenly comes to life and disappears around the corner. Then strange wild voices are heard from the air. Hopper runs out of the cave and hurries to the car, but for some reason it's evening on the surface and his car is all overgrown with bushes and will not start. Hopper senses that someone is nearby and begins to examine the area. He finds another abandoned car containing Jackie's backpack. The professor realizes that his students did not listen and went in search of him. Then he decides to return to the cave. Meanwhile, the group reaches the bottom of the cave. The next moment, the girls hear voices coming from the depth of the cave. The company decides to get out and begins to climb. But suddenly, the rope breaks. Jackie injures her leg and Taylor breaks his fingers. The guy is furious. He thinks it's Furby's joke, but the boy does not answer calls on the radio. Suddenly, Furby's distorted voice comes from the walkie-talkie asking for help. After arguing, the group decides to continue on their way, leaving Jackie to wait for rescuers. The group soon finds an exit high above, but for some reason, the lights outside flicker. Kara takes a camera and climbs up along the ledges in the wall, but she gets very scared of something and asks Taylor to take Vives away. The couple heads to the place where Jackie remained, but she crawls out to meet them. Then they return to the recently found exit, where Kara has already descended and is crying. Friends are trying to get a clear answer from the girl, but without receiving it, Taylor climbs up himself. He reports to others that on the ledge lies Furby's body. The boy wanted to go down to them, but someone cut the rope. While the girls are crying, Taylor finds the boy's camera, and they watch the last footage he took. Furby does not understand what happened in the cave, and why his team does not respond to calls. Then the boy explores the area near the cave. He finds another entrance, with the rope going deeper. Most likely, Hopper went down here. Then Furby finds a book that tells the legend of a cave where a water of eternal youth is hidden. But everyone who tried to find it was killed by Indians. Here the group notice that in Furby's video it's already evening, but they are sure that the time has just approached noon. In the next video, it's already midnight on the surface. The boy no longer knows what to think. He hears frightening sounds coming from the prairie. He hides in the car and continues to study the notebook he found, from which he learns that Hopper had a sister. When she fell ill, parents went in search of water that could help. The battery in Kara's car died. The only way out is to climb down Hopper's rope and find the keys to his car. The boy says goodbye to his mother and goes to the cave. He grabs the rope and begins to descend, but suddenly the sky above the cave begins to blink strangely. Furby gets scared, and the next moment the rope breaks. The boy falls down the cave. Vives notices the date on his camera. It says the day after tomorrow, but they've only been here for a couple of hours. Kara takes the remaining equipment and prepares to climb. She persuades her sister to wait for help here with the others and takes the camera. Taylor gives her a GPS beacon which should work on the surface. Kara climbs up and notices that the air is changing density again, but once she gets out of the cave, she sees a changed, lifeless surface. She notices an impending dust storm and a huge triangular-shaped space station in the sky. The frightened girl goes downstairs and talks about what she saw. Her friends say that according to their feelings, Kara was missing only for 2 seconds, although about half an hour was recorded on her camera. The group realize that they are caught in a rupture in the space-time continuum. Time passes much more slowly in the cave than on the surface, where hundreds of years have apparently passed by. It turns out that no one cut the ropes. They simply broke off due to aging, as years passed on the surface while they descended, and the flickering of light above is the change of day and night. Then Jackie realizes that this is the fountain of youth, because they remain young, although hundreds of years have passed outside. Taylor collects all the ropes and offers to climb up. He notices that in the video Furby's radio was hanging on his belt, but here it is broken and thrown away. The guys watch the last video and it becomes clear that the boy did not die because of the fall. He was killed by some creature. This means they are also in danger. The group decides to try again to get to the surface, and Kara begins to climb to build a rope path for her friends. Vives and Jackie are watching Furby's video again. They find out that the flickering of light is not just the change of day and night. This is the change of seasons. They stayed in the cave not even 100 years, but much more. At this moment, a pipe is lowered into the opening of the cave, which transforms into a staircase. A tall man in a spacesuit descends down. Having reached the bottom, the giant stops and looks at the people. He is suddenly attacked by a caveman, who is instantly put to sleep by the alien. The frightened group rushes through the cave. The alien closes the stairs and follows them. In one of the caves, the group finds the bodies of Hopper's young parents. Not far away, they notice cavemen next to the corpse of a cowboy. A fight ensues, in which Taylor is seriously wounded. The rest run back to the upper exit, trying to hide from the savages. Kara returns for Taylor, and then the alien in a spacesuit finds them. He lowers the guy into a small pool in the middle of the cave when cavemen attack again. Taylor comes to his senses, and the couple watches as the savages rip off the alien's helmet, revealing an ordinary human face. Kara picks up and hands the last weapon to the alien. He neutralizes the attackers, but begins to lose consciousness without his mask. Jackie and Vives come to the cave with the water and see that all the cavemen have fallen asleep under the influence of the alien device. Before his death, he shows the guys a broadcast that tells about their disappearance and a lone search. Then there is footage reporting that people were forced to leave the Earth due to changed weather conditions. Humanity built huge transport ships and colonized nearby planets. People have become giants and speak a different language. The young people are scared. Even if they go upstairs, nothing from the familiar world awaits them. Taylor finds Hopper's backpack and realizes that he is somewhere nearby. The man picks up the cowboy's pistol and goes looking for the professor. He looks at the drawings on the walls and meets a cave girl, pouring water on the bodies of her parents. In the same cave, injured Hopper points out a strange glow. Among many people, there is Hopper's sister. The professor realized that the whole cave is a system, where each layer is slower than the previous previous one. Then Taylor hears the voices of his friends. He tries to take Hopper to the Fountain of Youth, but he asks him to leave the gun and run away. The girls think about Taylor's healing and realize that the water in the cave is the water of the Fountain of Youth. They place Phoebe's body in the water and Jackie heals her leg. Then shots are heard from the depth of the cave. Hopper is trying to protect the students from the savages. The guys run to the upper exit and use a ladder to climb up. The exit now looks like a mass of water located at the top. When Kara reaches it, spider-like arms drag her inside. Taylor tries to pull her back, but then the caveman touches the ladder and it collapses. Taylor falls from a height and Kara is put on a mask with which she can breathe. The next moment, tentacle-shaped ropes descend for the rest of the guys, fixing them in the air. Kara stands up from the water in a new suit and asks everyone to follow her. The guys rise into the air while the ropes fly deeper into the cave. Phoebe, Hopper, his parents and sister wake up in small pools of water. They are on a space station from where they see Earth. The next moment, Taylor and the rest of his friends enter the room. They tell those who have woken up that they have a lot to discuss, and although everything has changed, they are still alive.